What's happening, people? What's good, guys? I'll wait for a few people to come in. What's good? Welcome. Mr. FTD, what's happening? Crypto Citizen. Market maker has marked the liquidity. goes short when you go long. brings price to this zone to trap liquidity. Say something else knowledgeable. I tell you what, a million ways to make £1 million. You find one way of making £1 million, you will rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, the market maker's business model doesn't change. So you know what? I'm going to exploit that and I'm going to repeat it until as many people as possible get the idea of how it works so they can make their own cake and be their own fisherman for the rest of their life. So, in terms of saying something else more knowledgeable, my friend, I ain't going to try and hype you up and tell you a lie. Nah, man, I'll speak facts and I'll speak the business model because that's all we're here for. Agreed? Are we cool with that, bro? My guy. Cool. Steve did say Bitcoin to 100k. Yes, he did say it. But he laughed straight after. So what do we do there? You know? Wicked, wicked, wicked. All right then. Welcome. Mad love and respect to everyone passing through to the channel. I have started a little bit sooner. We haven't really seen that much price action today, to be honest with you. They have drifted price ever so slowly to the downside. All right, so we're going to dive into what we can expect in the Asian session this evening, and then I'm going to roll out and leave you guys be. All right, so let's roll with it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a conversation. Okay, then, cool. So what did they do today? Well, look, they just did the standard stuff. Okay, they initiated a stop hunt rise today. They trapped the traders to the upside. Okay, now listen, this is what you've got to understand. I can imagine that most of the new people getting into cryptocurrency do not have screen time. Okay, most people don't. They come to the charts with the mentality that all you need to do is just buy, hold a coin, and then when it increases in value, you get rid of it and do the same thing over again. New people are coming through and then trying to have their attempt at trading. Trading is a different beast, ladies and gentlemen. All right? It is a different ball game. It's not like your buy and hold strategy. You don't really need to do much when it's a buy and hold. You buy it, you hold it, and even if it's dropping against you, you're still holding it because you believe in the bigger picture. Happy days. All right? For example, if you own a company, all right? Until that company stops making you money, you're going to still have faith in your company. If you can't make any money out of your company, naturally, you're not going to be able to operate. As a buyer, as a holder, sorry, if you run out of money and price goes to zero, you don't have an investment. Done. Your game's over. Okay? But when you come to trading, it's a different ball game. There are things that need to be considered. And when you're trying to get screen time to understand how the game works, once you see the same pattern, because you're probably thinking to yourself, why can't I just find a certain strategy or a certain formation or a pattern that I can exploit every single day and rinse and repeat? Because that's what you're here for, guys. You're here to try and understand the chaos of what we call trading, because it's a crazy world. We know that they move price in specific manners, and your goal is to try and exploit that and profit from it. Are we all on the same page here? You know? Are we all on the same page? Crypto Citizen, fair play to you, bro. Fair play to you, bro. You know? That's the reality of this game, guys. Trading, I'm going to get to a level with you right now. All right? They do say that, you know, if you practice something, you know, the 10,000 hour rule, where you spend 10,000 hours on your craft, you're going to be a master at it. But the problem with trading is this. Why do 95% of people lose in this game? Because they're not focusing on themselves. They don't spend enough time understanding why they behave the way they behave in the charts. all they're focusing on is just staring into a chart, thinking they're going to try and understand why price goes from this point to this point. Well, if you don't understand the business model, you're going to keep staring at the same thing and making the same mistake over and over again. And you'll then not have 10,000 hours. You'll have 50,000 hours of doing the wrong thing and being brilliant at it. That was my story. I had developed the worst habit at doing the wrong thing. I was the best at doing the wrong thing, I'm telling you. Jump forward all this time afterwards, we're now at a level of consistency. We're at a level of proficiency. I understand the system inside out. Do I get surprised by it? Of course I do. I will never say that I'm fully masterful on my system, because then that doesn't keep me grounded, you know? Because then that opens me for complacency. You've heard me say this before. Always be in the position to say, yeah, I'm prepared to learn something else so that I can apply it to the hybrid. Look at what we've come from. We've got the book map. We've got high block. We've got so many other things, trading light, exo charts. I've tried to incorporate so many things in this system. I will always come back to the hybrid because that's what I know. If I can take a confluence from somewhere else and put it to the chart, happy days. Okay? Now here's something for you. Because we haven't seen that much activity today, that's what's caught my attention. I think they're preparing for the weekend. Now, the weekend is notorious for doing wild things. We're either going to see some big, bold move to the downside tomorrow, unless they hold price. We may even see a bold move tonight by Asia. But they've just absorbed the information regarding the Fed. Now we're going to wait and see how that's going to play out in the longer term. Now, if you notice the disparity between Bitcoin, dollar yen, gold, things are now back to normal. Dollar's been rising, Bitcoin's been dropping, okay? And gold has been dropping at the same time as well. All right, look, gold's dropping down. Happy days. Dollar yen moving up. Yeah? But yesterday, before the FOMC, Bitcoin was like this, gold was like this, and dollar yen was like this. They were stabilizing in the range because they were waiting to find out where and how often now can investors, traders, institutional players and everything, where can they put their money? Look at the yields, okay? They've come up, now they've dropped. Most investors are feeling a little bit pessimistic about the economy, which is why the yields have come down, because traders are now seeking safer investments, okay? By that principle, does that mean gold is going to come back up? Maybe. Does that mean now that Bitcoin's going to come back up? Because Bitcoin against the dollar, naturally you expect them to both work in disparity. So in other words, when dollar rises, Bitcoin should drop. And when dollar drops, Bitcoin should rise. Gold and Bitcoin trade against the US dollar. Now, the only reason why I look at Bitcoin perpetual is because I'm on the hunt for liquidity. Yeah? I'm looking for liquidation points. I don't care about, you know, the bigger picture of Bitcoin. Now, the only reason why I don't care about it is because I'm looking for quick, fast moves. I'm looking from 32 all the way to 38. Those kind of moves. Okay, right, that's a bit of a big move, but you understand where I'm going with this. Yeah? So as we saw from the New York session earlier on today, we're expecting that this big 4-hour time frame pattern right here is likely to play out in the sense where a move to the downside will be realized and they need to contain this zone right here. So coming into the weekend, guys, be very careful with your trading. Now, I know the weekend is a point where people will have a lot of flexibility to place trades. And it's also a time when people can get wrecked. And I have said this before as well. Avoid trading the weekends. And the only reason why I say avoid trading the weekends is because a few of the guys in the Discord, I've seen it. They say it. I got wrecked this weekend. I got this. I lost this weekend. I had a great week and then I traded the weekend and then I lost. I'm not saying it so that you avoid making money. I'm saying it for you to preserve your capital so that you can come to the charts at the busiest times of the week. Where has been the biggest moves during this week? It's been on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay? There is a bit of movement here. All right? But the basis of what I'm saying to you guys is to be cautious with your trading. Do not trade the weekend unless you are very proficient and you're disciplined to make sure that you cut your trade when it goes against you. All right? As it stands, we are waiting to see if this W formation on the 4 hour is going to play out. Keep in mind, because right now we're stuck in this 5K zone between 38 and 32. Yeah, or 32 and 32,800. What can we know about this range holding or failing? So let's bring it over to the book map. Has there been an increase in orders to the downside? Is the order book showing more interest to the downside? Earlier it said, oh man. Earlier on today, that was 1,700. Now it's gone up to 1,852. And 29 has got 877 Bitcoin. And now below it slightly, 29,500 has got 812 Bitcoin also. Guys, that is a lot of orders. Those are Bitcoin orders. 1,852 Bitcoin at 30K. All right? Proceed with caution. If anyone's saying buying the dip or anything like that, please do your research. All right? Be careful, man, because they could surprise us completely and just blow out this range. You know? It would have to take a lot of interest by traders to remove this liquidity from the order book and move it higher. Because that's what can happen. You see, the darker the actual line, you can see that's a dark red, and this is orange. When it goes yellow, white, and then blue, it means that the liquidity is being removed and potentially being moved higher to get filled sooner. That could imply that there is an intention or belief that the limit buys are being triggered sooner to keep price above in this area so that they anticipate a move higher. All right? But if this area stays static and remains red, it means that they are expecting it at some point to land in that zone because there is liquidity in that area. Now, if we look at the 30K zone and we roll over to the high block method itself, you can see already that we still have, what, $754 million worth of of long liquidations. Collectively, we've got in this range 2.8 billion in this area here. Okay, so we just need to try and establish, are we likely to break down, and is the market maker preparing to take this range so that he can then mark down price and then potentially start building it back up again? People have got it in their minds that Bitcoin can go lower than 20K. Well, let's look at the monthly time frame. Bitcoin can go actually lower than that if it needs to. It can go all the way down to 26, 20, and it can even come all the way down to 13.5K. See, at 13.5K, in my opinion, it's still not really an amount of money that the average guy coming into cryptocurrency is going to be considering. He ain't going to go and buy at least 20 Bitcoin at 13,000. It's still the institutional player's coin. Bitcoin would need to come all the way down to at least maybe 2.5 grand, maybe even down to $50 for it to get the mass adoption into crypto. But it's unlikely that they'll go down that far. But who knows? Something big would have to happen to send Bitcoin all the way down to those figures. Okay? But we do have 1, 2, 3 wicks to the downside. This is where they came last time, and this is where they showed interest in the chart. The principle is this. If they're not going to come down to this area of liquidity here, is the market maker going to induce enough traders to believe that it is likely to go in that direction, and then all the liquidation points for the shorts are being placed above so that then they can reverse everything and take that liquidity? Because remember, the market maker will look at it like this. If I send price down towards this area here, that means all the guys that have been short are sitting on a nice profit. That means I'm not going to have any liquidity for me to come back up to based on the amount of positions I've been building long to the downside. Okay? So what do you think he's going to try and do? He's probably going to try and keep the retail trader who is committed short to keep him short. And then he's going to mark it down a little bit more. And then he's going to then reverse price. Okay? And induce the longs to step in, so that he can then take back all of these shorts that are being built. So really what we're looking for, guys, is the market maker going to take advantage of inducing traders to go short whilst adding loads of liquidity to the upside for the guys who are trading against price, so the short players? In other words, liquidation points are being added continuously. Or is he just going to blow the range right down here because there's still longs in this range that have not been cleared? Yeah? Cryptocurrency is quite receptive to emotional behavior. If someone says buy Bitcoin, whoever is saying it and they are of importance, they just got to tweet it and it ends up being brought. That's the sad truth about cryptocurrency. You could never do that about a stock. You couldn't do that about any Forex pairs. No chance. They can put out projections, happy days, but no big figure will turn around and say, buy Bitcoin, do this, do this. You know? It's not happening anymore. Before it was. Elon was only the only guy that I know that was actually talking about Bitcoin on Twitter. Okay? Now, he's doing the same for Dogecoin, but everyone's used to the idea that when Elon speaks on Twitter, the market might move a little bit. Okay? But in comparison to what it was before and the impact that it had, he did see a bit of a backlash on that. So no one talks about it as much now. So do you get what I'm saying about the liquidity, guys? The market maker can be at a loss, but he knows he's going to recuperate that loss at a later point. It's all about what he's going to do with traders' commitments in the chart. Because their business itself is providing liquidity. Why would he only be providing it? Surely he's going to be making something off it. And it is by the nature of price action that we see that. All right? Cool. All right then. So earlier on, man. Just to understand the way price behaved today, here is an example of the US Brinks session. Now, if you are new to the channel and you want to understand what I mean about the Brinks box, the Brinks box itself is a point in the chart where price action is being set up for the money trade. Okay, because you know in the US they have the Brinks truck that brings the money. This by principle is what this is. It's the setup for price action. Okay, so if we dive into the 15-minute time frame, you can see right here what they did. They came up 3 notable points to the chart. 1, 2, 3 hits to the high. Okay, market maker induces traders to step in, initiates the commitment to the upside. If you remember in the stream, we were talking about previous liquidation points in this area. They took those zones and they initiated the Brinks box and then they reversed price back down again. Yeah. Earlier on, I shared a projection to the guys in the Patreon, and I'm saying it again. If you're going to consider joining the Patreon, don't join until the start of a new month. You will be charged twice. Don't do it. Just wait until the start of the new month. All right. But I put this projection out. And the idea was that from this zone right here, they're likely to try and move higher, try and initiate a jump towards this area, and then come back down again. So the first projection was taken at 36,103 and expecting the 34,912 to come in. Now, looking at price action right now, okay, you can see that, wait a second, with this fast move up right here, okay, and rejecting the psychological high right here, that is important, but only for the short term, all right? It's not a consistent move, yeah? Because look at where it's coming from. Price has been dropping and they've just literally shoved price back up again, all right? This could be a stop hunt. Now, for this to hold true and maintain movement higher, price would need to finish above the 50 EMA. And whilst it does that, the 5 and the 13 EMA will need to cross over the 50 to maintain momentum to the upside. Again, fast move is the false move. This is a false move if it remains below the 50 EMA. All right? And these are the sort of candlesticks that are used to make traders commit liquidity in the charts. So again, be careful when you see a big candlestick, especially appearing below a move to the downside, because frankly, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the pattern. Drop, retrace, continuation to the downside. You know? Market makers are necessary like bookmakers in Las Vegas, and I believe the same people making money off transactions, not price. Correct. That's what it is. You know? Tina explained something to me about bookmap. Why would the market maker allow the orders that sat in the order book to be filled, then move higher and allow them to release at a profit? You've got to remember the bookmap, okay, is the auction between limit buys and limit sells. Okay? Limit buys and limit sells. That's the thing about the bookmap. When and if they decide to come down to here, because you can't make the assumption that it's going to go down there for definite. No. Because we're at 36 now. All right? This area right here is staying static. It's increasing in Bitcoins. So 1,851 Bitcoins. Now it's just gone up to 1,853. All right? If price stays in this range of 36 and they can see it being pushed higher, so that means that limit sales are being favored, people want to sell higher, then they'll take these orders off and move them higher. If you watch bookmap enough, you'll understand what I'm saying. You'll see that you'll see that sort of behavior. All right? Right. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Same behavior, in my opinion. Still trying to hold, at least Ethereum is quite close towards the lows. All right? So be mindful of that. We might actually get a deeper hit to the downside with Ethereum. Because look, they've rejected the M2 pivot point, which would imply in this session that they could end up at the M0 point. But that is for this session. And this session right now finishes in 2 hours time. Because it will see the start of a new daily candle, which would mean that the M pivot levels will adjust for the next session. So M0 might not be there anymore. You know? So, Ethereum, 3 hits potentially. Could we get support in this area, which is where I'm hoping that it's going to hold? Or if they do decide to break down lower, we will be coming down towards that 1800 zone where, look, most of the liquidity in this area is being filled at the 1800 zone. All right? The weekend is coming up, guys, so be careful for price action. And if you are considering taking trades. Altcoins, let's see who's killed it today. All right, then. So Sanders taken a little bit of a hit. There we go. It's pulled back, pretty much following Bitcoin's behavior. And what did we say earlier on today, guys, about Sand in the live stream? Going to come down to the 50 EMA and hold. That's what we want it to do from this range. All right? Theta. Is it still trading above the 50? There we go. Happy days. Theta's trading above the 50, but we've got contraction in the zone. Again, moving averages are pretty close. So you've got to be all cautious at this point again. Because when you've got a contraction in moving averages, it's clear that there's no direction. Just look, when the moving averages expand out, that implies momentum and volatility. Yeah? When they contract and come together, nothing's happening. Why would you trade this? Now, of course, if you're a scalper on the 1 minute time frame, it's a different story. You've got activity all day. But right now, there is contraction on the 1 hour time frame, so you have to wait. And I'm sorry, but that's the name of the game. You know? Same again. $1.50 for Engine Coin. Trading flat. Look at that. Flat range. Nothing's happening. Volatility, momentum, flat range. You're going to see that across the board with the alts. Again, it looks like we're all following Bitcoin's movement. When is the disparity going to come in with Ethereum taking its own course and the alts rising and Bitcoin just does nothing? That's what I'm waiting for. Okay, what have we got here? Check Phantom. Let me check Phantom for you. Where is Phantom at? How many people we got in the stream? 1,500 of you in the stream tonight. 325 likes. Let's pump the algo. Okay, then, where we at? It's a weird day for me today, man. It's a different day for me. I can't even find it. Why am I wasting my time on that, man? I'll just type it in. Done. Here we go. All right, so Phantom's come down now. Comes straight into this range, and it's holding notable volume at the lows of the M1 pivot point. So, again, it is trading below the 50. We've had ourselves a little bit of a pattern formation play right here. Are we likely to see this pattern holding out, this bigger W formation in Phantom? This is the 1 hour time frame. We're only going to know tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow we will have news announcements. We got the so we got the core PCE price index for dollar tomorrow. So we do have a big news announcements tomorrow. It's a high impact. All right. So that could be a market mover tomorrow, guys. So just be careful. What time was it? 1:30 GMT tomorrow, guys. Be careful with that one. All right. What are you doing here? Okay, let me have a look there. DXY back at its 2020 June highs. So hard as a holder, so hard to watch all your profits leave. See, this is the idea with trading, in my opinion. All right, it is hard to hold, but the idea is if you're a holder, all right, and you're only limiting yourself to a holding perspective, if you're to come into trading, all right, what you generate from trading, in essence, is going to help you with your bag as a holder. You understand? That would be the ideal scenario. If you can become proficient in a strategy, that's going to help you offset any deviations in your portfolio. Happy days. But that's the thing that, as I said earlier on, people come to crypto, 90% of them are holders. It's only now people are stepping into the game of trading thinking, okay, I'm going to try and take advantage of this, because I've sit through a cycle before. I brought Phantom once at, for example, 50 cents, and now it's gone to $2. Why can't I do that on a shorter time frame? The exchanges make it easy for people to open trades. Guess what? Use leverage. You don't need to commit that much money. I'll chuck a couple of £100. Happy days. You turn that couple of £100 into 2-3 grand. You are now a G. You are now a top trader. You come back to the charts and you give it all back. Because the market maker, he gives you a bit in order for him to take it off you straight away. That's the name of the game, guys. The mistake that you can make is if you keep on adding and adding and adding and not getting anywhere. That's the problem with trading. And that's the truth. Be careful. Make sure you understand what you're doing. Have a degree of understanding of how the business works before you commit liquidity. Because it's not just simple, pennants, Fibonacci's and what have you. Those people who are proficient with the Fib plays, mainly swing traders, okay, where the Fib plays are ideal for. But for day traders, it's a little bit different, man. There are so many more things that you need to take into consideration when you're day trading. Yeah. Yo, Tino, how did the market maker allow Bitcoin to 69? Does the business model ever change? No, the business model never changes. It's all about getting people to agree to purchase at a certain point. All right? So think about it. People ask this question all the time and they say, well, if the business model never changes, okay, how do they make it move higher? Okay? Well, it's simple. The same reason that people believe that this zone right here in the chart. So let me bring up Bitcoin one more time and then I'll let you guys be. So when we were over here in Bitcoin, in this area here, that was around about the time when everyone was expecting the bounce to happen. All right, everyone was saying buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. They were even saying buy the dip over here. Okay. Now what the market maker was thinking is probably this. If he's going to make people believe it's going to go higher, all right, he will keep doing this in the charts. He will pump price up because he knows that there's someone that's going to purchase off. They're going to bring price to a range where they can get interest. It's all psychological. What reasons would you have to go long? You're already holding Bitcoin hypothetically, and now your portfolio is rising in value, and you want to take a go at having a trade or add to it. So the market maker pushes price up. Then we get a plethora of news coming into play. Price still continues higher. Market maker knows that he's going to mark price up to wherever he thinks he can get people committed at. Okay? Right now, there's too much liquidity for them to take. In the chosen ranges, they need to offset their books. They need to bring everything back into the fray because they also have all this liquidity up here for them to go back to. Now, these are all vector candles where the market maker had initiated longs whilst price was dropping. So he's made people believe that Bitcoin now is dropping. So they're selling. He's buying it up. He's buying everything because you can only sell when someone buys. And it's the point at the chart, in the chart, where he decides that he's now going to get ready to reverse price back up so he can take back all of the liquidity that he's been providing by installing the sentiment of a bearish market, okay, to the retail trader. I'm the messenger, guys. I didn't create this business model. This is the business model. This is how they operate. This is their business. Okay? And you go back in the streams and watch the streams, you will understand what I'm trying to say. Because they keep repeating the same thing over and over again. They just do it differently at different times and different price points. Above the 43, below the 42, above the 37, above the 38. And all you need to do is just try and capitalize on those plays. Just look at today's price action. We understand that we're looking for this pattern all day, every day, yeah? This is the tattoo that we call it. All right? That's the upside pattern, and this is the downside pattern, okay? Our approach to the market is simple. When price breaks below a 50 EMA or breaks above a 50 EMA, what do you wait for? The reversion to the mean, because they bring it back into the fray. Because the people that went short in this area here are now being stopped out. So the market maker gives them another chance to get in again because they think that this is a resistance point. Look at the pattern. It's there. Likewise on a move to the upside. Let's find a point where they move higher. Look at this. Simple. You've got it there. Price rises up. Rise. What are you doing, man? Rise. Retrace. Continuation to the upside. Okay? Now, when you see a rise, retrace, continuation to the upside, this is the 1 hour time frame. Let's go on to the 4 hour time frame so that people can understand how can they do it on higher time frames. Zoom out. Okay, let me just do this. So let's look at it like this. Isn't it despicable how the move to the upside here does one thing here, and then they do exactly the same up, and then they drop it again in the same direction, in the same manner. Look at it. M formations, drop. Okay, W formations, rise, retrace. Here's that pattern. Look. You got the rise. Where are you, man? Get this up. You got the rise. You've got the retrace. And then you've got the continuation to the upside. Okay? So to answer your question, if Bitcoin or if the market maker will allow price to go higher or lower, that's all down to how often they can install in the retail traders' eyes and in their minds, how greedy do you want to be? Because as you notice, these big pushes to the upside, if someone sees the 1 minute candle move up like $50, they think Bitcoin's mooning out. That's how impactful the marketplace is to the average trader. All right? So when they move price up like so with these big vector candles, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, there is obligations happening right now. For every person buying, the market maker is selling a short because he knows he's going to bring it back down to that point at some stage in the future. And there you go. Take the green vectors. Look right, look left. They always come back to those zones because the vector is nearby. Now, before anyone says it, yes, we do have the monthly candle right here showing potentially Bitcoin coming towards these previous vectors. If they come back to the vectors on the 1 hour candle or on the 1 hour time frame, there shouldn't be a problem with you accepting that they come back to them on the monthly. But if Bitcoin does get down to this zone, what we think Bitcoin being in terms of price, if we think it can't go beyond that point because that's where all the traders, all the institutions started buying it from, well, how do you not know that they're selling it down towards that zone? What you're told every day about whales buying this, whales buying that, well, does that make you want to go and buy Bitcoin because a whale is buying 1,500 of it? Yeah? Of course it is. Because you're coming to the pad, okay, with the information that is saying to you, yes, whales are buying, okay, and then you come and start buying Bitcoin, hundreds and thousands of people go and buy Bitcoin. Well, in order to buy, something has to happen, and it's called a sell, because you can only buy orders off other people who are selling. It's a zero-sum game. One man's fun is another's hell. And that's the truth of the market, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So listen, mad love and respect to everyone passing through to tonight. I have chewed your ears off for the best part of the week. If you are new to the channel, God bless all of you for passing through. Okay, be sure to subscribe and like the stream. Okay, so we can pump the algo. You know the YouTube story, guys. You know how it is. Anyways, have yourselves a wonderful evening, and I'll be doing a video tomorrow to finalize the week and what we can expect over the weekends. Take care of yourselves, people. Peace.